Do you think that having a big ego helps or hurts a writer?
Oh, it could go either way, honestly. Um, for me, I don't really like, I'm not going to tell somebody my book is the best thing out there because being an indie author, this is me just starting out. I know my book's not perfect, but there are those that are like, yeah, my book's the best work ever. And I'll pick up their book and be like, oh, sorry about you. This is not as good as you say it is. But I mean, I give them an honest opinion when I review their books because I do try to review every book I read if I can.
Yeah.
But I, it, like I said, it can go either way. It just depends on the person and who their readers are, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Yeah. I think it could either help or hurt them, depending
Mhm.
on how big their ego actually is.
Yeah.
Um, do you watch by chance or have you watched Once Upon a Time?
Oh yeah. I oh man, I religiously watched it for like 7 seasons,
Yes.
and then life happened. School was taking up too much time, and I didn't get to sit down
I
to
fell
watch
asleep.
as much TV. So I kind of lost track of it, and I still need to go back and finish a lot of it, but it's been a while.
Who did you ship?
Say that one more time. Sorry,
Who
you
did
cut
you
out.
ship? Like, who did you want together? Like, Emma or Neil or Emma or Huck?
I really liked Hook, so I
Me
was
too.
very happy with that.
Me
Because
too.
Neil, I was kind of like, oh, I mean, at one point, I was kind of like, okay, but he also reminded me of an ex-boyfriend of mine, so I kind of had that held that against him. I was like, no, but Hook definitely like won me over as the seasons progressed. I was like, yeah, he's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean I liked Hook. I liked the did you see the musical part of it? Did the
I'm trying to
musical?
remember. I don't remember if I did.
Well, they did a musical, and that when they did the musical, that's when it kind of like won me over.
Yeah. Oh, I may have. And it's been so long since I've watched those
I'm actually
episodes. I'm
binge
like,
watching it
oh,
right now, and it just kind of came up. That's why I asked you because I was like, wonder if she does. So, because you said
yes. I was
stuff
obsessed with
like
it
that.
there for a
Do
while.
you watch? Do you watch? Well, did you watch Shadowhunters at all?
I did for a little bit. So I read the book series
Me too.
and I was super not happy with how the show panned out. And I had to have this talk with myself about how you don't compare book to the movie or the TV series. I mean, it was a good TV series on its own, but then I think it came out while I was in PTA school, so I kind of couldn't watch a whole lot of TV,
Yeah,
and it was
they
studying over.
added yeah, they added and took out a lot of stuff in it, and I was like, I kept watching it because I wanted to see if it would progress to what the book. I'm like you, like I compare books and movies, like that's just how I am.
Yeah,
Even
it's
though
hard
we
not
should,
to.
right? It's hard not to, and I just there's even with the Harry Potter series and the movies too, like there was some things that I just like was not happy about that they didn't add or that they added and shouldn't have added. Like it just wasn't necessary. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
guilty of that too. Very guilty of that. Um, do you find it harder to write the first book in a series or the last book in a series?
Ooh. Mm. I'm gonna go with the last book because there's so many possible endings sometimes that it's hard to decide how you want it to end or if you really want it to end. And then you also put the idea of like, is there a way to like leave another thing for like a little spin-off series or like something like that? But I definitely think it's harder to end a series rather than start it because there's so many possibilities just taking flight when you start a book. It's just like, oh, we're gonna put this in here and then this in here, and then when you get to the end, you're like, oh, my characters are coming. Like I'm fixing to be done with these guys. What? So
Right. Do you do you find yourself like so I know for me like the characters like to take over Do you find that happens to you a lot?
Oh yeah.
And then when you
I
try and
will.
explain that to somebody, they look at you like you're crazy.
Yes. Yep. You can start out with one idea for the storyline and you start working on that character and you're just like you go off this direction, you're like, wait, that's not what I had in mind, but okay, let's go there. So
Right, let's see what happens.
yeah.
I know, and people look at you like you're crazy all the time when you sit here and say, "Oh, well, the characters wrote the book. I didn't write the book," and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "It's an author thing. Don't worry."
Yeah. That's true. My husband looks at me like I'm crazy when I explain to him an idea of like what's going on with these characters. He's like, "What? I thought you were doing this." I was like, "Well,
Right? Yeah,
not
yeah,
what they wanted to do." So,
right.